I said, young fella, that's not what I meant. Not against me, but for everybody else in the association.
Yeah, let me clarify that, son.
He failed to tell him not against me. He should have included that when he gave him that advice initially.
Yeah, I also like that dunk where he throws it off with the one hand. No, actually, it was bounced. He tipped it off the backboard and then dunked it with the other hand.
And you were impressed with the first one, which he threw off the glass from behind.
That was pretty neat too. Yeah,
kept his head on the
one side. Yeah, and reached over with the left hand.
What I was most impressed about was when he was asked, how he came up with all of this. He said he dreamt up the Superman thing while he was in New Orleans, so it wasn't something premeditated. He thought about it when he got down there, evidently.
If there ever was a man of steel in basketball, you look at his physique and you say, "Yep, he's the one."
Well, he appears to be faster than a speeding bullet and able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, and he was doing it here tonight. 20 points and 11 rebounds for Dwight Howard. Arroyo throws it off the glass. That's no good. Tip not there.
That was blocked by Dominic McGuire. But again, like we've seen all night, the ball just not bouncing favorably for Washington, even after the block of Dominic.
Marcin Gortat from Poland and Nick Young from USC. Drills a long jumper.
I'm sorry, Steve. Nick Young has not missed a shot. He's a perfect 5 for 5 from the field.
And has 15 points. Reddick to a chorus of boos. Our first look tonight at Pat Garrity, the smart guy from Notre Dame, who 3.7 grade point average, majoring in science and pre-med when he was in college. And Garrity in his 10th year in the league now. There's Pat, 9th year with Orlando, played his first year in Phoenix. Young on Reddick for Sangaila's open baseline jumper. Good. Darius Sangaila getting his 4th start of the season tonight. What do you think about that move by Eddie to start him and bring Blatch off the bench?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that Blatch comes off the bench very strong, as we've seen him do in all these games. Remember early on in the season, he struggled coming off the bench, but you understand the headiness of Darius out there and his toughness as well. I mean, he scraps. A lot of times he'll get his hands on some loose balls, also get deflections defensively, and make some good passes. And he also has a very steady perimeter jump shot, but that time he picks up the charge. So, in other words, I like the move. And again, hopefully you continue to have good production coming off your bench. And hopefully they'll just forget about this night. Just never really got themselves going and made themselves a challenge.
Blocking foul is called on Sangaila. That'll be his 4th personal. And a timeout taken by Orlando with 2:51 to play. And it's academic now. 115-86, Magic in the lead. Magic tonight, Phil, have made 11 3-point shots in this game.
There's so many things that obviously this team has come in here and disrupted for Washington defensively. Washington with 6 consecutive games holding their opponents under 100. They've held their opponents under 50% shooting during that stretch as well, and also holding their opponents under 8 made threes. So all those things going to waste from this game tonight.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the open, the fact that the Wizards had played a string of games without allowing their opponent to shoot more than, to score more than 100 points. In the meantime, Orlando had averaged 107 points, and they've got 116 here tonight.
Yeah, well, we said something was going to give, and unfortunately it was the Wizards' defense.
It gave. Songaila, tough fadeaway, not there. Tipped up into the air. Rebound to Evans. Carlos Arroyo with 2:20 to go in this game. Redick lost it. Turned it over. Fans delight in that. Petcherov, what a pass.
What a catch. To look over his shoulder and catch that pass from Mason.
Dominic McGuire still playing hard. Believe it or not, those are the first fast break points for the Wizards in this game.
That's right.
Redick gets around McGuire and draws a foul. It's on Dominic. 2 shots coming for JJ.
Redick hits the floor hard. It's sandwiched by McGuire and Young.
%81 shooter on the season.
Kind of amazes me how this tradition goes, even once you move to the pros. I mean, here this guy is, Redick, and they still are getting on his case here. And he looks like he's accepted it.
Well, there's not much else you can do. You can't get up there and cry. You gotta accept
no crying in basketball.
That's right. Petcherov, tough fadeaway. How do you like that? Alexei Petcherov. 5 of 7 from the field. He's got 13 points in the game. And for Pesh, that is a new career high. Previous was 11 at Houston last Tuesday. (120-90). Rebound Arroyo with less than a minute to go. Nice behind the back pass to Garrity and couldn't quite finish. Petcherov the rebound. His 4th. Alexei drives and an offensive foul is called on Pesh. Wizards allowed Golden State to score 123 points here this season, the most allowed here by Washington. Magic at 120 now and leading by 30, make it 32. And the Wizards will suffer their worst loss here this season. Denver had the mark before this with a 26-point victory. Tip up and in by Pesh, who stretches his career high to 15 points. But no real sleight of hand for the Magic tonight. They lead wire to wire, win the game by 30, and get their 40th victory on the year as the Wizards fall to 29-31 and 17-13 here at home. So we invite you to join us for our next telecast on Comcast Sportsnet on Friday.